Okay. There seems to be people here already. Can you guys hear me? I'm pretty sure the chat is on. Hopefully I enabled that, but I started the stream a little bit early just because I wanted to make sure everything was working. So can you guys hear me? I hope so. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, live chat should be on. Okay. Yeah, I'll just wait until 1 though to like actually start talking about stuff, just because that's when I said I would actually do the live. But again, please let me know if you can't hear me. I do have a banana milk prepared because the last time I did a live, my throat actually got really dry. Um, but I'm just gonna wait until 1. I'm sorry for the background noise, but hopefully you guys can all hear me. If you guys want, you can already start like putting your questions in the chat if you'd like. I really do hope you can hear me though. Okay. Is it at a good volume though? Like, is it too much? Not enough? Sorry, the beginning of a live is always pretty boring, but you guys can start putting your questions in the chat if you'd like. I'm just gonna wait until 1 though to actually answer questions, just so that everyone who wanted to drop by can come and actually listen to the answers. But yeah, is everyone doing okay? um, oh, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed, this is my dorm currently. I'm already moved in actually. It's not fully decorated, so it's it's not there yet, but I moved in on Wednesday, so I'm currently in Smith Hall, so it's been interesting. um, Almost 1. Sorry, Emma, I'll answer your question as soon as a minute passes. Um, I honestly don't know how long I'm going to do the live, but I feel like last time I went on to like an hour 30 minutes. Hopefully it's not too long today. But I guess it depends on whether everyone asks like questions. But okay. So Emma asked, "Hi, what clubs were you involved in? Any ones you want to join or recommend?" Personally, I didn't join as many clubs as I would have liked, just because um, yeah, I was super busy my first semester, like partially the transition, but also just um, like YouTube and doing everything else that I do. And so I didn't join as many clubs as I would have liked, but I did join a club called WISE, which stands for Women's Interdisciplinary Society of Entrepreneurs. And that was a really cool club if you're interested in business or entrepreneurship. You don't have to be like a woman to join, but it is mainly consisting of females. And it was a really cool club. I feel like being a woman in business has its own like little struggles and differences, and so it was helpful to like meet other students who were kind of on the same boat. Um, and then I joined CASA, which I'm actually a media specialist for this year. CASA is a really cool club. In general, I join clubs that like you're interested or you're culturally like involved in or interested in. And so for me, CASA was one of those just because it is the Korean American Student Association on campus. And since I am Korean, it was one of the clubs that I definitely wanted to join just because I really wanted to find a Korean community on campus. Um, but that was honestly the two main ones that I joined. I really didn't join any other ones, sadly. But if you are interested and are coming onto campus this year, and I don't know if you are, Emma, but we do have something called Fall Fest that happens every year, and we basically there's just like stalls outside on campus in like a row, and there's a bunch of tables, and all of the clubs come out and they talk about what they do. They often have free stuff if you're interested in that, and overall, it's a good time, and you can check out some clubs. We also have the student involvement fair that's already happened, but that was usually online. I'm pretty sure it may have started actually last year because of the pandemic, but like they made a virtual world campus thing where you could go around and click on stalls for different clubs, and there would be like a little summary of what they are, and there was a Zoom link to join if you wanted to talk to members of their e-board. But that is already done with for the year, so you'll just have to look out for Fall Fest, which should happen sometime in September. And then I'll be at Stetson East this year. I know it has a dining hall, but do you have a specific dining hall? I personally really liked Outtakes, which was in Stetson West last year. I don't know if it still is this year, because I've heard Outtakes isn't traditionally in Stetson West. But I liked it just because it was like a point-based system, and so one meal swipe would be 10 points, and each item, like food item, was worth a few points. I just liked it because it was prepackaged food, and so you could grab like fruits or snacks and just stock up there. That's usually where people tend to use their meal swipes if they have any left over at the end of the week. Um, yeah, I really liked it just because for me, dining hall food, especially because it consists of mostly American food, it was very heavy and carby a lot. And I feel like the only healthy thing I could think of was like salad in the dining halls. And so it was really heavy and it didn't work well with my digestive system. And so I tended to go to Stetson West and kind of like, yeah, just deal with that. Or they do have good spicy salmon sushi. It's a little sticky, but you kind of get used to it. So that was my favorite, but which is right next to Stetson East. So it's right next to you if it's in the same building this year. I apologize if I say your name wrong. I would assume it's Oliver, but there's an I in it. So Olivier. Sorry. But hey, I'm an international business major with concentrations in finance and management. I got my schedule the other day and I'm so stressed out. I'm going to be a freshman and I don't know what I'm doing. No worries. My freshman year, my first semester of my freshman year, it was super stressful. I had no idea what I was doing. No one really comes into college knowing what they're doing. And you quickly realize all of the other freshmen are also just like high school seniors that are finally in college. Yay, I kind of pronounced it right. But yeah, and so don't worry about it. It is really stressful. The emails can honestly be a little confusing when they send it out, and it's kind of like looking all over the place. But yeah, I would definitely don't stress out. You're going to have some time before classes start to get situated, obviously moved in, but you'll also have the chance to like talk to your RA, which is your resident assistant, that lives with you on the same floor, and you'll just be able to like meet a lot of new people and ask them. And if you ask around, pretty much the whole freshman class is just as confused as you are probably. But in terms of scheduling, don't worry about it. You also do have some time once classes start to figure out if the schedule works for you and if you'd like to keep it. I personally actually ended up dropping a class because for me, they gave me 6 classes and 2 of them were just 1 credit classes, but it's still like is a lot to deal with, especially during your first semester. And so I personally dropped a class and it was a 4 credit class. So I was super stressed because I was only taking 14 credits my first semester while everyone else was taking like 19. But it worked out. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm perfectly fine with my major and like my credits even now. And so don't worry about it if you do end up having to drop a class. You'd rather do well and maybe take less credits the first semester, especially while you're still transitioning. Like, don't underestimate how hard transitioning can be and just do well in your classes than like take a bunch of classes and overwhelm yourself and then end up not doing well or like seriously being super stressed and like it affecting your mental health in a bad way. So don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I didn't know you could put your concentration already, but yeah, don't worry about it. I would just check your degree audit pretty well though. Yeah, and just make sure you have like the credits and everything. But I also would plan ahead. I am going to do a video later on about like how I personally prepare for a semester, and that should be somewhat helpful. But yeah, Faith says, I am an engineering major and have been reading a lot about how Northeastern recommends using a Windows computer. I personally use a MacBook and always have. Any suggestions or know what I should do? Um, it is definitely a little different from for an engineering major compared to like just other major students. I was actually talking to a friend recently who's in engineering, and he was talking about how it definitely is helpful to have a Windows laptop com- um, when you're in college as an engineering major, and so or even like CS and stuff like that. And so I do I'm personally not an engineering major, so this isn't coming from me necessarily, but they did recommend getting a Windows laptop. I'm personally using a Windows laptop right now. I'm using my Dell XPS 15, which you've probably heard me talk about in my other videos. It is really nice. I'm obviously not an engineering major, so I don't know like specifically how it would be better for you as an engineering major, but I have heard Windows is really good, and my friend said my Dell XPS 15 is also a really good laptop if you need any suggestions. I can also reach out to him and see specific recommendations he may have, and let you know. But yeah, I hope that kind of helped. But also, if you can't afford it or like don't really want to switch laptops just yet, like don't worry about it. You'll have plenty of chances. Um, I didn't come into college with my Dell XPS 15. I got it later on during spring semester and towards the end of it. So I barely used it for school, but I am excited to. So yeah, you definitely don't need to have like a specific laptop coming in. It just may be easier using certain softwares or programs that your major may require if you have like a Windows versus like another software program. Um, yeah, I probably sound super tech deficient, but I'm really not the most techie person. So, um, Alexa says, "Hi, this is really random, but do we get a room key or do we access our dorms with a Husky card?" For all freshmen, I'm pretty sure you only maybe get a key later on if you ever live on like leased properties or something. But for freshmen, it is just your Husky card. I wish I could show you, but basically if you've seen in any of my videos, it's literally just like a keypad, and you scan it your Husky card first, and then you'll input the last 4 numbers of your Husky ID number, and that's like how you get in. Uh, but yeah, And then Kayla, hopefully I said that right. What essentials do you recommend to buy if living in EV? So for East Village, you in a sense may have to buy more than if you were in a building with like a communal bathroom and stuff, just because you don't get that cleaned by the school and stuff. So one, I do recommend getting cleaning supplies. I do recommend it for everyone in general, outside of like bathroom supplies, just because you do want to be able to clean your dorm. Um, like I wouldn't necessarily completely trust that the school has like deep cleaned your room. And so coming in with like a vacuum and then like just an all-purpose cleaner spray is definitely recommended in my opinion. But you will need like bathroom supplies, all your towels, your own napkins and paper towels if you live in East Village, just because they don't stock the bathroom for you. You're going to need to figure out how to split up costs for like toilet paper and stuff, since you are sharing that bathroom with other students, and you know, your own shower supplies, things like that. The shower did come with the curtain, so you're not going to need that. But yeah, maybe even like a bathroom mat. We got one. You're going to need to get your own trash can, unless you're just going to put like hang a bag somewhere. And then in terms of your room, uh, you do get like your closet is really like just outside, and you have like a little rod section with, I don't even know if I'm describing this well, but if you want to check out my dorm tour, I kind of show somewhat in depth what I personally got, but also what the dorm looks like. But I recommend getting hangers unless you're gonna fold your clothes and keep them in your drawers the whole time. I honestly can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I had two drawers, like dresser drawer thingies, under my bed when I moved in. I think you can actually put in a work request for like a dresser slash drawer thing to put under your bed if you happen to move in and it doesn't come with one. But yeah, also this is such a random list of things you need for EV. But yeah, I would definitely move in with all your essentials. Definitely, if you can, like if you're driving up or something, even if you're flying in, I would try to fit it like your essential bedding stuff, just because you're going to want to sleep on the bed your first night there. And it doesn't come with anything. And so you're going to need your pillow and your, you know, bedding supplies. And yeah, for in terms of like water and stuff, maybe get a Brita filter or something if you don't want to like walk downstairs to the first floor where the water bottle filling thing is, every time you need water. I personally ended up getting plastic water bottles from Stwest, since you could get it with meal swipes, but that's obviously not the most sustainable. So maybe like a Brita filter, or if you want, some kids just drink the tap water, and Boston tap water is clean enough. So if you don't mind the taste, I'm personally a little picky about my water taste, and so I didn't like the tap water, but you can also do that. But I think that's it in terms of like specific things for East Village. But also outside of like essentials, you'll definitely have time to like figure out if you need anything once you move on to campus. I recommend using like an Amazon hub locker so that you don't have to go through ResMail. But yeah, sorry, that was super long answer. I hope that actually answered. But yeah, and no worries. Actually, Faith, if you're still on, um, if you go onto the Northeastern Reddit, there's a lot of students who ask about laptop recommendations and things like that, for specific majors. So if you want to go check that out, um, I'll actually put a link into the chat if I can find it. But yeah, if you just like go to the Reddit and then go into the search bar of like specifically the Northeastern Reddit and just search up like laptop or something, you can like look through all of the posts that have it. But yeah, that's super helpful. And there's students who are actually engineering majors who can answer your question there. So, but Emma says, what tips do you have for welcome week? Um, Welcome week is pretty much just like that move-in week, and there's just events going on, and whether you move in later or earlier, none of it is like required or anything. And so as events just happen, once you move in and you're settled in and you want to actually go out to some of the welcome week events, you can just go to whatever ones there are available when you're there. There is an app for it. You should have probably gotten an email about it in the recent Husky Happenings email or something. There is a Canvas course that's actually, or like module that's required to fulfill, by the way, for whatever reason, for Welcome Week. So if you haven't seen that email or haven't read it yet, I would definitely do that. But there is a Welcome Week app that you can download to look at for like events that are happening that day. I would definitely get it just for that first, like, just for during Welcome Week, just because it is helpful. I used it last year just to see like what events are going on. And there are a lot of fun events. There's a lot of events where they're giving out free stuff, like Stuff a Husky and things like that. I don't know specifically yet what we're doing, but I will let you know as soon as I do know. But yeah. Um, and don't stress about it, by the way. I've seen a lot of like first years asking about it and kind of stressing about what to do during that week. It's seriously just a chill week. Like nothing's required. Maybe like convocation or whatever, but like there's really nothing in terms of welcome week events that are really required. And so if you're like just wanting to spend that whole time settling in, exploring Boston, and like getting used to your dorm living and stuff, don't worry about it. Take that time to transition well. But yeah. And then, Gabby, how are your design classes before switching majors? Did you have to buy your own materials for them? Definitely, yes. You do have to buy your own materials for them for really any class. So, textbooks, like simulation programs that you use for those classes, or for design classes, your materials, you will have to buy them on your own. Um, yeah, honestly, for the design though, there's not too many